Some of the nation's most elite, most powerful lawyers are right here in Las Vegas.
I don't care who you are. It is your responsibility and privilege to follow the law in this country.
Paul Pata, a former federal prosecutor and rated as one of the top 100 lawyers in the nation by his peers. Christian Morris has already proven her skills in and out of the courtroom.
You've heard from the other side. Now let me tell you the facts. An initiative will be on the November ballot in which California voters will have their say in breaking up the state into 3 separate states. What are the legal, political, and constitutional issues at stake? Welcome to Vegas Lawyer. My name's Christian Morris. I'm a Las Vegas personal injury attorney. I'm here today with Darren Heyman. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Christian.
Darren's an international immigration attorney. Thank you for being here.
Great to be here.
I'm also here with Aisha Mehdi.
Hello.
Aisha. Aisha is a healthcare attorney. Thanks for being here, Aisha.
Thank you.
We're talking about the issue that is going to be on the California ballot. It's a very interesting idea in which the voters of California can vote on whether they want to be broken up into 3 separate states, which is allowed under the Constitution. They can break up. A state hasn't been formed under this since West Virginia, I think in 1863. But it's a very interesting issue and one that I think California has to address because California has quite a few issues. I mean, it's a large state, right?
Yes, it does.
It does, it does.
And that would be a whole show in and of itself. But no, I mean, this is absolutely fascinating. Right?
I mean, you said a fact about California earlier when we were talking about it, about it's like one of the
8th largest economy. If it was its own state, it would be, or its own country, it would have the 8th largest economy
That's
in the world.
amazing.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge. And it's also on the verge of, if not bankrupt, with that huge economy, largely because of its spending. Well, that's generally what makes something bankrupt, and because of all of the entitlement programs within the country. And that's what makes this initiative so exciting and so interesting.
You like this initiative?
I like it. I like splitting up. I think right now, as a single unit, the state has way too much power.
I mean, the claim is it's going to have better infrastructure, better health care, better school systems. But let's look at it in the perspective of the country. I mean, California currently has 2 seats, correct?
In the Senate.
In the Senate. They get broken up, they're going to have 6 seats in the Senate.
Right.
And those are all going to be Democrats.
No, I'm not so sure it will be. I think Eastern California, which they are actually calling Southern California, because it goes down, basically it's all the orange groves down to San Diego. I think that's more than likely going to be Republican. So at the end of the day, really what you're going to have is four Senate seats for Democrats, 2 for Republican, a total of 2 at the end for Democrat, which is exactly where we are now.
You don't think there's a chance they're all going to kind of bind together to get as many votes as they can going one way, because they are essentially the same state, but they've been broken up? There's going to be some cohesion there.
I think if you were to say to North Carolinians that South Carolina and North Carolina are essentially the same state, they would have issue with that. I think this is a very interesting idea. I don't think it's going to happen in a million years. And even if it does happen at the ballot, which I am very sure that the governor is going to be fighting tooth and nail against, because he would rather be in control of the entire state rather than a small portion of it, it's not going to pass the 2/3 requirement of the U.S. Senate in order to actually be ratified.
Okay, so it's part of the Constitution, but you still need 2/3 of the Senate of
the U.S. Senate
in order for it to happen.
Exactly.
But I mean, here's another reality: is it's going to cost millions of dollars in taxpayer money.
Billions.
Billions of dollars.
If not trillions.
And that is a lot of taxpayer money that California really doesn't have the ability to kind of let go at the moment. They're already in crisis. I mean, so when you look at the idea, sure, it sounds good, but for it to actually come to fruition and the amount of money it's going to take for that to happen, I don't know, Aisha, do you think that's something that's even feasible?
Could you explain more, like how it's going to cost so much?
Well, all the governments. So right now, California is one state. In order for the infrastructure to change, they're going to have to break up everything. Electrical companies, school systems, all the government centers. I mean, that's just the basic stuff. And when you look at, I mean, even like the roads in California, I mean, there's crisis everywhere. And so for it to think that, hey, breaking it up is going to be the solution, I mean, I don't necessarily think it is.
Do you think the citizens are aware of this, the cost?
Well, no. I mean, maybe, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're California citizens and residents, and they know when there's the problems that they have. I mean, I went to law school in California. I wanted a job there. There was a government freeze. I had no chance I could get a job, so I came here to Las Vegas to get my job. But they know there's problems, but are they going to know with the initiative on the ballot what that's going to mean for them taxpayer-wise? No, of course not.
Well, because I would say, like, states have their independent decision-making thing, and if the people decide, then it's their decision, and they have the right under the Constitution. However, if it's going to cost them that much, I'm not sure if they would vote for it. If
Well,
they knew.
even if they did vote for it, they
Yeah.
then, of course, have to get
go
it
through the whole
ratified.
process.
So I don't know. Maybe the lawmakers will have a thought on the amount of tax
Well,
dollars.
and yeah, exactly. The U.S., the federal lawmakers, right? And there's just so many issues. I would say the average voter votes emotionally. So going back, do they understand what's going on? You're going to have certain people who actually do their due diligence, but they're going to make up a vast minority of the people. This initiative was actually brought forward by an entrepreneurial billionaire.
Tim Draper, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his idea is basically we're too behemoth. We can't do this. So, I mean, yeah, this is exciting. This is exciting. And it'll be interesting to see where
It
where
will be
falls.
interesting to see. It'll make us have, how many? 52 states?
52 states, finally. I always thought there were 50.
So my question is, if California breaks, will we have more California lawyers coming to Nevada?
Well, that'd be
Potentially.
three
Maybe we'll
bars.
have more
There
movie
would have to be
stars.
3 bars.
Maybe that'll be what happens. All right, that's all the time we have for this segment. Thank you so much for joining us.